Jaded up, but we always had the upper hand there. Done well there, Elements to clear that all the way down to the opposing corner with a bit of help from the Reading player who pinched it with him. Good from Jaded. Awkward for Elements. Elements likes to push it off the corner. There's no follow-up from Reading, but 2 commit and 2 miss from Hearts White. That's 0 for 3 on hitting the ball on the Hearts defence there. But they managed to get away with it somehow. I think he's so lucky to do that more than once.
Big pressure coming out. More mental than anything. They're just, I think, trying too hard. As that one goes wide, this one also put on net. Booth does get the touch.
Oh, you won't get that one.
Again, this time Elements can put the ball away slightly against a run of play, but Booth could only pop that one high, and no teammate was quick enough to be able to follow up. Gives Elements the chance, puts Hertfordshire with a 1-goal lead, as we saw in Game 1. But the question now is, can they keep hold of it and improve?
I think it's fair to say that that goal had more substance than the goal Hearts scored in the first game. You know, the goal they scored in the first game was a kick-off goal. Not what a save.
Oh, what a save.
Not a fantastically adept goal from the standpoint of skill or offensive drive. But that will hearten them a bit more, I think. Will pardon the pun, to have scored that. They might get a second. No, Hades commits to that. They might actually concede. Big fake from Booth, but he'll get demoed. That's not quite going to sneak in, but who's first to it? Huey manages to get back to it very well. Dosmuts goes over the ball. Hearts retain their lead, but it's not looking entirely at ease.
Both teams seem to be falling over each other in terms of their
themselves.
teammates getting in each other's way, yeah. Or a whiff catching out your fellow teammate too. It's just not quite synergizing.
Lacking the national polish.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing right now. From going from the National League sides, the top dogs of University Rocket League, to these guys scraping around the edges. You can almost sort of feel that polish, as you say, is not quite there. It's a lot more rough and ragged. But
Yes, it's scrappy so far. This series has been definitely. I think both teams have it in them to play the kind of clean Rocket League that we've seen so far today, but so far neither team really been able to get enough of a handhold on it to really play the game they want to.
it could just be the pressure of the situation.
Of course.
They know how close they are to making it up there, but they also know that this is their last chance to do it, and if you mess up now, you are stuck playing for the regional spot only, which, you know, still great
Very
position
respectable.
to be in. You'll be one of the highest seeds.
Durham defenders are in that position, or have you known? What happens when I retire? Here's that off the line. Hades got time and boost. Huey's up. This could be some kind of monster play. Oh my goodness me. I would have taken everything I said back if that had ended up in the back of the net.
They were going for it then. They wanted the play. A nice attempt on the pass. Reading still in need of a goal here. They've had some pressure, but no clear-cut opportunities. And with the clock running down, soon enough they'll run out of time, and we will end up with this series tied 1-1 if it stays as things currently are.
I mean, Huey just played the exact ball that we would have wanted from his teammate, and that might just bounce all the way in. Slightly lucky from Hearts that nothing worse came of that play from Booth on retreating.
This is a good chance for Dosnuts. The net's open!
Wouldn't have
it's
got it
such
from
a
that
tight
angle.
and no one was there to help follow up from Reading. Now with only 5 seconds to go as this ball gets boomed back forwards, they need to get a chance here. It's cut down really nicely by Hades, and it's once again a 0-second goal going the wrong way to tie up the series and actually causing the 2-goal cushion. Both these teams showing they can score on 0 seconds, but it's not the goal
They need.
that everyone's asking for. It's not the tying up. But anyway, Hertfordshire, well done there. They tie up the series now 1-1.
Yeah, it was a much better display than the boys in blue. I think it's fair to say they did well. Reading, I think, also in almost equal measure, didn't come out in as much force as they did in game one. It was full parts better blue and worse orange. I think it's fair to say. Didn't have the offensive pushes that they had in game one. There was some fantastic. That save just came back up on the replay there from Elements. Fantastic defense, Hertfordshire, to keep their lead, because it was obviously just one for the vast majority of that game.
Very similar in stats throughout. Same amount of saves, same amount of shots, bar one. But Hertfordshire put the chances away, and Reading missed out on a few opportunities that they probably should have scored on.
I think it's
However,
the lowest combined ping I've ever seen in a server. Sorry, just take a minute in the game break to point that out. No one on above 24. Jaden's sitting on top of a Rocket League server, clearly, because he's on 8 ping. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it.
I mean, I'm in Reading, and I still get like 20. 24, 27 my average, so he's got the server in his room.
Yeah, well, while we live in Jaden's private lobby, we'll get into this game 3. Stands as 1-1. The scores, which probably changed. 1-1 it is between Hearts and Reading. Jaded getting carried a bit on the defensive rotation, but he does well. Booth thinks better of it, decides he's got the time, and time he does have, and he gets it over Hades well, but Elements should clear this. Osnuts does well to bump him out. A shot on target, comfortably saved by Huey. Jaded will drop this to the corner, and will settle into a more conventional rotation as the first minute draws to a close.
Yeah, not too many chances coming out yet, but that's a bit of a double
commit
bit from Reading. Both these teams playing a bit safe, keeping it comfortable. Don't want to risk too much yet. This game 3, as we know, can prove pretty vital. But it also can mean absolutely nothing after an 8-minute overtime, as we saw Brighton and Warwick earlier. So it all depends on how you set yourself out as a player mentally.
Yeah.
Because that is one of the biggest aspects in Rocket League that not many people seem to be aware of. Keeping yourself mentally strong and believing that you can still come through it.
Yes, clearly we've had some teams this evening have a bit of a crisis of confidence. Or perhaps further than they should. Really deal with it as well as the more veteran teams of higher caliber might have done. Element clears that one off the line. Booth is there. Popping out again, but he's over Jaded's head rather than towards him. A bit awkward for Reading, trying to keep this offensive push up. Elements doesn't get enough on that ball. Booth is trying very hard to get a Doomsday dish into his own net, but doesn't quite manage. Jaded will clear that one away now. It's further down. Booth again, left on the back line, does well.
It was a very scary situation for Booth as he didn't quite read the touch that he wanted. This game very much still all based in the midfield, just trying to break down the opposition, but they're not really slowing the play down. It just seems more like they're waiting on mistakes. That was a big overcommit, and Elements has a chance here.
That spawned on the right side for that ball.
Jaded now beats out 2. It's only Elements at the back. Gets the 50 towards net. Positioning just not quite right to read and make the most of that situation there from his teammates.
Oh, big miss.
And suddenly these midfield battles are starting to branch out into the other halves and towards the nets rather equally. It's still very even.
Oh my.
That one, slight miscommunication issue, almost just allows that ball to sneak through. Hertfordshire now getting all the pressure. That's a miss, but
Elements. Oh my goodness me. Oh, and
Oh,
that might
now
cost them.
Jada coming the other way. This might just be a chance
Oh
on net.
no,
No, Hades
Hades.
recovered really well. Just been so speedy.
Might not be
However, he's dropped
enough.
this one in front of his net.
Some jitters on both sides of the ball here. Manages to get a slight touch. That's a brilliant continuation. Get that ball out of the Hearts half. Oh, good demo. Hades is going to remain on the backboard. This could be a monster play. Fortunately not. Huey doesn't get the touch off. David clears that. Gosnuts knocks it down. Booth doesn't quite reach it. So Jade will be left there. He can deal with that. That's a fantastic double touch. Pushes Reading into the offense as the final minute. Oh, fantastic clear off the goal line. Final minute ticking down. Still no goals.
We could see our first 0-0 overtime of the day coming in the final series in a big spot that the winner of this game goes on to match point. Booth, though,
Great
looking
touch.
to change that, tries to drop it down.
No
Gosnuts
one
gets it
up!
nice and high.
What a save! Doesn't have the whole goal to aim at, though. That's not the best place to put it. This is opening up. That's in! Oh, it's not quite. And Jaded gets a brilliant doink to clear that one away. Really opened up in the last 30 seconds or so. Again, just wide from Hearts players. The shooting accuracy. They've had two pretty open nets to aim at, albeit from distance.
Will we
Booth.
get another 0-second goal? No, we won't.
No,
We have our
Booth's
first
just-
overtime. Now, the one hope I have for this is that they don't become cagey again. Because they were
Yes.
really getting opportunities for both teams at the end.
Oh,
This
that
is
might
a
be
good
it.
chance for Reading,
Yeah.
and it is just like that. Only 9 seconds of overtime played. And not a great touch from Elements. Can't get it under control. Gosnuts flies in, slams that one home. Reading now have the advantage 2-1 in this best of 5 Southern Promotion final.
About 56 times shorter than the last overtime we saw, in case anyone was wondering. But they didn't need 8 minutes this time, Reading, to clean this one out. Straight into this game 4. Everyone very keen to push this one up. Reading have a 2-1 lead. This could be the final game we see tonight.
It could, or we could have one more and a possible game 5. It all depends on whether Hertfordshire are able to break them down.
It's been back and forth this series. I don't think it's beyond Hearts to get... I shouldn't speak.
They've got a lot to do now as Reading come out flying.
Awkward ball
Hades
for
can't
Hades.
really do much about that, but taking it across your net is never the safe play.
It wasn't
And
really a
unfortunately-
safer play, to be fair to him, in that situation. Oh, that's a big double hit. This could be straight back for the boys in blue. Huey doesn't quite have the angle on that. Kind of shots that only Ferrell would score. Oh, Elements nearly cuts that one across.
Now, there's still plenty of time for Harps to get themselves back in to this game. And as you said previously, they have had ample opportunities in other games, but usually it comes from counterattacks, and then
Yeah.
it just leaves the game so open. And if they can't take their opportunities, it almost looks like Reading will get a great one
Oh,
to
that's a
score themselves
huge
every
double
time.
miss. Hades has been forced into a very awkward spot again. Jaded will capitalise. Not even a minute gone. Reading 2-0 up.
Hades just not getting the touch he was after there. Probably closed down Booth a bit too quickly. He didn't have to. The ball was moving away from net. And he's only ever going up the wall with that position. So I think he was just over eager to try and cut out the play. Unfortunately, pops off at the back of his car right into Jada's path, and Reading will take the 2-0 lead. Now Hertfordshire have it all to do.
Definitely. Still plenty of time left. Certainly not out of their reach yet, which I can safely say, as Elements has the ball entirely under his control. But that's a big miss, and this has put Huey in a very awkward position. He does well just to knock that out to the side. Try and hit it too hard and get it stuck out in the middle. Again, knocking it off to a corner. Good defensive play, but the defense isn't what they need to be doing at the moment if you're a Hearts player, although of course it is, because these shots keep coming in. Eventually
Yeah, the
they're going to run out
clock
of boost.
run out of boost and run out of time. We're reaching 3 minutes remaining of this game. They've got the ball in a good
Big
position
miss.
here. They
Even bigger
double
miss.
commit. And they can't see it through as Booth just seemed to be stuck in a terrible spot.
Oof.
Jaded tries to take that one all the way. Can't quite. This is awkward for the two in net. The double commit allows them to clear that just to the side, but that's a lot more boost burnt than they probably would want as a collective.
Oh, this
And
could be
Reading with all the
good.
pressure.
Booth
Jaded
coming
drops
into
it
the
down nicely.
middle.
Booth and a boomer into the net. 3-0 to Reading. They just look like they're getting stronger and stronger as the series goes on.
Fantastic play from Booth. Knows where he needs to be. Great passing from Jaded. All round a fantastic team play from Reading there.
Hertfordshire still looking for their first shot in this game. They are yet
This
to
could be it.
find a shot on target, but they get one and
Ooh.
is cut out on the goal line by Jaded. Flies down from above his crossbar, I believe, and cuts that one just out of
That's
the play.
awkward.
That is
That's
a
very
really bad
awkward,
shot.
especially with Elements doing that. But no one pressing from Reading. They do have the cushion. Don't need to be chasing after balls like that in this situation. With a good touch, that's 4. Reading looking to run away with this and take the series in 4 games.
Yeah, this series looking like it's just escaping Hertfordshire now. Hades jumps off the back wall and moves away from that front post just too early. Not realizing the danger. It gets played behind him, and at that point, he is a sitting duck, cannot do anything about it.
Double commit. Got to get desperate now, but it might catch them on the other side. A brilliant pinch save. Could have gone very wrong for Hearts there.
But as you say, double commit after double commit coming out. This team of Hertfordshire just don't trust each other. Jaded gets the bump on the goal line. Dosnuts puts them 5-0 up now, and I think with a minute 39, that might just be it. And now Reading can begin their lap of honor, being one of the final teams to make it through into the National League.
And they've deserved it, especially in this series gone on. Like you say, they've really warmed up, done very well. Definitely been the better of these two teams. Remains to be seen how they'll fare in the Challenger bracket, of course, because I think it's safe to say there are probably teams we've seen tonight in that bracket who've played better than this. But all depends who comes out on the night, isn't it?
It does. I'm just looking to see if the results for the Northern playoffs are up yet. They are not, but Scouse Sports versus Link Up is currently, I believe, being played over somewhere, being brought to you by Astral and McLovin.
It's on McLovin's Twitch, which you can find in the streams page of the NSE channel. We won't cry if you go to this one at this point, because this game is all but wrapped up. Well, that could be good. Oof.
Very strong showing here by Reading, proving that they are National League worthy. Maybe coming up just slightly too late for trying to get the best place finish available to them, but with a Challenger bracket run, it's a double elimination tournament, and that is some nice play here. With 21 seconds to go, they make it 6-0. If these guys can continue playing the way they are right now in that Challenger bracket, they could move quite a long way up the standings still.
Yeah. And that's some very good play from Reading. It does look promising. The more I see, the more I like from what they're playing at the moment. It's been very cohesive, particularly in this game 4. Lights out offense at times, some brilliant touches that no one would expect. I think they have every reason to hope for good things out of this Challenger bracket, but they will face sterner challenges, I think, than the Hearts team that they've fought today, who did very well themselves. I think it would be unfair to be too harsh about their performance. They've done well, obviously, to get as far as they did. It was like you say, just unfortunate timing. They came out of nationals with only one chance to get back in. That concludes this season's NSE coverage on Rocket Kingdom TV.
I don't think it. No, I think you're jumping a bit. It concludes the league play.
The league play coverage.
But we've still got all the other games. We've got the championship bracket and the challenger bracket to bring to you guys here on this. Oh, and in terms of the results for the other one, Lincoln beat Scout Sports 3-1. So Lincoln do indeed make it up from countless attempts trying in the past 2 seasons now. They do sneak in
At the
to
death.
the challenger bracket.
And I think it's worth reiterating, as we check the maths in our break, Sussex were the final team to sneak their way into the top 6. An amazing turnaround from them to make it in at such long odds going into round 3.
Yeah, and with the championship bracket, it will be split over Sundays and Tuesdays. So we will be bringing that to you. I'm not sure if it will be coming this Sunday right away. But if not, it will be starting Tuesday next week and moving on from there.
That's available.
Yeah, so Nereus, could you...
It's this Sunday. Yeah, I'm checking with the teams right now to see who's available what date. Ideally, we play the quarterfinals on Sunday and then the semi-finals on Tuesday. If only the teams on one half of the bracket are available to move to Sunday, then we'll play one quarterfinal and semi-final that day, and then the other quarterfinal, semi-final on Tuesday, which is what we did last season. But hopefully we'll have the quarterfinals on one day and then the semi-final on another.
Okay, sounds good. And yeah, our league play's wrapped up. So, who are the big shocks, do you think, from this this season of league play? Because the top 6, well, Brighton drop out of their 5th spot and Sussex come in. A lot of people expected Sussex to be up there. They expected Lancaster, Portsmouth, Nottingham Trent was a big one. I mean, I think Warwick really are the big one that no one really thought would make top 6 again.
Well, they're top 4 now and potentially going to make the last 8 in Europe, which is quite a turnaround for a team that we have not talked about at all this season.
Yeah, it's been a very topsy-turvy season on the whole, I think it's fair to say. Some teams doing much better, and it must be said, a fair bit worse than people may have expected going in. Of course, the beauty of this game is that you can never really predict what's going to show up on the night.
Yeah, who knows? But there's definitely going to be some huge games coming up in the coming weeks now for these, and
That's the
I
point. We
honestly
can
can't
actually
wait.
predict the matchups, by the way. That's easy enough. It's it's Portsmouth Paladins versus Sussex Hammerheads,
That's
and
a
Warwick versus
baptism of fire.
UWE.
What was that second one?
Warwick versus UWE.
Okay, wow.
With Trent and Lancs getting the buys.
Yeah.
So
Nottingham Trent face the winner of Portsmouth versus Sussex, and Lancaster face the winner of Warwick versus UWE.
okay, on first glance of what you've said there, I think UWE are going to be running through that side and going on to the finals. Especially just from what I've seen in the past couple of days of their performances. And then from the results coming out the other end from Nottingham Trent, I think it might be a Nottingham Trent UWE final, but it all depends on who turns up on the day, doesn't it?
Very much
these
so.
are going to be really difficult to predict because all of these teams have beaten each other at one point or another in the season, apart from Sussex, who've lost to just about everyone and still got in somehow.
Amazing from them. We slept on them.
I'm pretty certain Lancaster have beaten UWE at some point, but UWE beat them 3-0 yesterday. So, yeah, impossible to tell with that one. And Nottingham Trent and Portsmouth Paladins still yet to face each other, I'm pretty certain. Like, they haven't faced each other all season long, so that could be an interesting one.
Oh, wow.
Portsmouth have not really shown up for the past couple of weeks, it's got to be said, with getting swept by Rotterdam and today losing to UWE, I think it was.
And taking the full 5 games to get past Salford too, wasn't it? In that final...
yeah, they're going to have
match
to
too.
step up next week. or this Sunday potentially, depending on what we work out. They're not out of it yet.
They are not. No, all those teams still have the chance. If one team has an off day, if there is some more drama in
Never know.
in NSE Rocket League, as we have had a lot of that this season, I've got to say. And probably the worst part is what we found out with Ferrell not playing his last game for Brighton, and because of that, Brighton missed out on points earned today because they actually tied on points with Sussex, but because Farrell elected not to play for their third game against Kiel, where they then lost 3-1, they do not make top 6. And that has got to hurt. It's a shame it comes down to those little things, but there's just such a mental game that you have to show your strength.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to talk through issues, talk through problems with each other, because unlike in normal Rocket League where you get to pick who you play with, if you have a bad day, you can drop them or you jump out and you're like, right, okay, I've had enough of these guys. I'm going to go find a new team. NSE Rocket League, you get people from your university. And there is nothing else you can do unless you get other good people from your university that you can then have the option of switching around the team.
Yeah.
And that's the big problem, I think, that comes with a lot of this, is whether you get people who are strong enough and willing to learn to adapt and play with certain individuals.
Yes,
And I think
it
we've
is
seen that
very
a lot
much.
this season, that people have just not been willing to do that and have given up. When if they'd really put their minds to it, they would have probably been a much better outfit. And it's a shame. It's a shame that it's still like this, but you can only do so much with the players you're given, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's very much about how you play together. We've seen some mechanically fantastic players crash and burn, surrounded by teams that they can't gel with, while players, of a much lower MMR, rank, whatever you want to use to describe it, playing well together as a team, doing perhaps much better than we expected going in.
Right, well, I think we've spoken enough of what we can do.
All the Rocket League we have.
That is, unfortunately, I mean, it is getting pretty late, and I would like the thought of my bed right now.
I'm gonna join you in that thought, I think.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the Rocket League as much as we did. And yeah, we will see you either on Sunday, or if not, then Tuesday, for the beginning of the championship bracket matches, and probably some challenger bracket games from the coming weeks too. So keep an eye on this space. You will not want to miss it.
All right, guys, thank you very much for watching tonight. I've been Atch.
I've been Princey.
And we hope you have a good night. See you around.
See ya. I do need you.